Okay, so you but yeah, you was going into so you said that one of your teachers was the one that got you more into fashion. You saying that?
Yes, Dr. Sandra Glover was the one who introduced me to fashion. And I think the first time we met, I was in there sketching in the cafeteria because I wanted to go for fashion mass communications. And she saw me
Wow.
doing it, and she came in the cafeteria and she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, I see you like fashion. I'll bring you some Harper's Bazaars and Vogue tomorrow. I did not know what kind of
Wow.
Vogue, how big they were, but I know this is around the fall months. And around this time, they have New York Fashion Week going on. So the issues are about this thick. Faith,
Yes.
girl, when I tell you, no lie, the next day, because we wasn't supposed to go where the teachers come through in with like the teachers' interest of the school. I went to her office because we have already created a rapport about fashion.
Yes.
And she said,
Yes.
come to my office the next morning. She gave me the keys to her car. And on the back seat, there were about 5 or 6 different Vogues and
Mm,
Hoppers Bazaar. And as I'm flipping through them, coming back inside, bringing her the keys, I'm like, this is a whole new world. Because here I am, bumpkin, right here, born and raised in South Carolina. The only brands that I'm privy to is FUBU, South Pole, Fat
yes.
Farm, not
Yes.
Valentino, and Versace. Well, I knew about Gucci, but that was on a whole nother level. But
Yes.
she introduced me to a world of luxury fashion, couture fashion, like Armani Privé. She taught me how to pronounce the designers' names and everything.
Mm.
And I thank her every single time I see her or run into her in the store. So you taught me so much about fashion from the showrooms to where, how the dresses are made, what the designers do. You taught me so much about it. So she was the reason I got into it.
Oh wow! And so when but when did you decide to start sketching? Like, because that must have been before she came along. You said that you was already sketching.
Yeah.
So how did that, how did I come across? Like, how did you have the desire? Like, where did I come from? I,
Being in art class,
okay,
and then we had to
okay,
do a project where it was like well, now we call them vision boards, but it was like a
yes,
collage of what we wanted to do with our life. And we couldn't really do it like that. We had to put it together like, okay, parts, pictures of skin and all of these things, building into what we wanted it to be. And I said, you know what? Let's get into fashion. Let's start sketching. I want to do something different. And so that was what I wanted to major in. But
mhm,
backstory on that, we didn't have a fashion program down here. We could take art class, but we didn't have a fashion program. So the closest thing to it was cosmetology. And I started taking up cosmetology in high school, got my license. Well, before we jump
wow,
ahead to that, I didn't do so well on the first time. I remember crying all the way back
um,
after I took the test,
oh,
which was that you have
oh,
the practical and the theory, which is like the theory part is where you're like in this room, like a cubicle, like if you're in an office cubicle, and then you have a
right,
supervisor out here monitoring to make sure nobody cheats or anything. And then the practical part I did well on, executed that. But then I went to take the theory part. That was the part that I cried all the way back. And then
mhm,
my girlfriend, who styled my hair in the beginning stages of Style by Stevie, she said, go back and take that test. My father, again, Marine vet. This is one thing we can agree on. He said, oh no, you going back to take that test. How much that test is. And I
oh
didn't
wow.
object to that. I went back
So
and I
he
studied all
supported you on that. Oh, okay.
yeah, because it was something
Mm,
I wanted to do. He said, oh no, you going back to take that test. And Faith, the second time I went back,
you tore it up.
passed with flying colors, girl, licensed and everything. The first thing I can remember was getting a pepperoni pizza. That's one of my guilty pleasures. I love pepperoni pizza. And that was my celebration treat for celebrating for passing the test. And then
Wow.
getting my Sally's card. The next day, I remember getting my Sally's card because when you're in beauty school, you get the blue student card, like on
Right.
a piece of paper. And then as you graduate, as you get your license and everything, you get the red card, which says pro preferred. So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And so
Mhm.
when did you get your license? You said it was right after high school or during? When was it?
During Cope
During.
Area Career Center. And shout outs to my instructor, Miss Maisie J. Stevenson, for believing in me. And she
Mm.
even said it herself. She said, why don't you go to fashion school? I was like, hairstyling is a form of fashion. So I would like to do both. I like to juggle in all arenas. I don't like to stay in just one lane. And being in this business, I realized that you have to have multiple irons in the fire.
Yes. Oh,
You
yes.
can't just stay in one lane. So
Absolutely. And so I'm so glad that you were able to own in on that because sometimes it takes some people years, even beyond high school and college, to figure it out. Even though they knew, or even though they had the idea at that time during high school, between high school and college, some for whatever reason they never got the opportunity to pursue it the way you did. They never had the opportunity to really know for sure if this is something they really wanted to do because they take the safe route. Did you okay, by the way, did you start working? Like, did you have actual regular jobs?
did I start working?
Like, did you
What
have
I
regular
did
jobs
was
after high school? What did you do after high school?
I started when people would call me, I would come to their house and do their hair because where my sister was staying at, it was like a community for the elderly. And what I would do is I would go and do her hair, my sister's hair and makeup, and then other women would see it and they're just like, okay, can Stevie do me? Can Stevie do me? I'm just like, I don't need him. You don't have to set up an appointment with me. It's out of the greatness of my heart. So let's go ahead and let's make these people feel good about themselves. So that's what I would do. And I still do it because it's something that I love. I love the feeling of, even when getting ready, I love seeing the mirror
Yes.
first thing
Yes.
hand as I'm getting ready, what I'm wearing, what I'm putting on, my makeup or whatever, and then to turn the mirror on somebody else and see their reaction to it.
Yes.
Even with my mom has always been my test of it. If not my mom, then my sister. If not my sister, then my grandmother and my aunts. They were the precursor for me to get into beauty school because I would always practice on them, whether it was shampooing their hair.
Right.
Now, I couldn't touch the relax at that time because they didn't want me bothering chemicals. But as I've gotten older, I can do
Right.
that.
Yeah, so you started, owning on your craft, as you
Yep.
grew into it. Did you go like I said before, like, 'cause I know outside of you making money off of doing hair, you had bills at the time, I would assume, or you had to have, certain medical, benefits and all that stuff. So did you have like regular employment as well? You know.
No, no.
Okay. Oh,
Not
oh
really.
no, you ain't had
But
no
that
no
was
no job.
just like that. And what I was thinking about, because I told my mother about this at the time when I was in beauty school, was like opening my own studio where people
Right.
could come in and it could be like a one place shop. Like if you guys seen this the movie with Selena, Selena had a boutique in her salon, and then she had her salon part where they did the hair, they did the nails. That's what I was thinking about doing. My mom was like, "Why don't you hone into it?" But I said, "No,
Yes.
no, not gonna work." And this is how the birth of Style by Stevie came about. Because
Oh.
right after high school, I said, okay, what is going to be your game plan? Our parents always ask us, what are we going to do next? What are
Right.
we going to do next? Because you're now in your senior year, you done graduated. What is going to be the plan? So it was to continue to do hair. And I'm just like, no, I love this. And then as I'm having conversation with my clientele or the people that I'm sitting with to do their hair or whatever, I'm like, we got to have something because these are issues that affect not only just women, but people around the world.
Absolutely. Oh,
And
yes,
so they would
absolutely.
ask me for my opinion on things, and it would just be like it's spot on because you know how you're the person that says what people are thinking, and that's what I do on my platform. I say the things that people are thinking, and that's how the birth. I'm not gonna jump ahead. I'm gonna let Faith take it over. But
It's a
that's how the birth of
yeah.
Style by Stevie began. Just from that, sitting and having a conversation. But I'm in a salon area. I'm doing it like in my sister's living room. In my sister's living room, while
Right,
she's in the
right.
kitchen. I would go spend the night with her. And she said, come do my makeup and my hair because I got a date with my boyfriend. And I'm just like, hey, sure. I don't mind coming to spend the night with you. So those are fun things that I
Yeah,
would
that
do.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds so much fun. So now, so you got right straight into your in your craft. So was it that lucrative for you from the beginning? It was that
Yeah.
lucrative for you?
Yes, I love
Wow.
doing it. And I remember when I was going to beauty school, we would have something called Pamper Me Day. And
Okay.
every Friday would be open lab. And what we would do is, I can remember the girls in the class, they'd be pulling the foil through their hair, the cap, the other girls. not the black ones, because we know if we keep coloring our hair so much, uh, it'll damage it. But what we would do is nails, and I would have some of the girls in there do my nails in the class and things. And we would all exchange services on each other. I'd learn about natural hair because my mom at the time was natural. Now she's
Okay.
not so natural,
Mhm.
but we always will be trading what type of products do we use, all of these things in open lab days. The other girls would have their part of the lab, and then the black girls over here, we'd have
Mhm.
our part. And it
Right.
would mostly be like getting your hair treated, a conditioner or getting it braided or, just straightening, all of those things that we would.
Yeah, so you do your own wigs, you style your own wigs when you come on?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You guys are seeing the stylist, and my hair always looks great. Like today's hair inspiration, I was trying to kind of thinking of Carrie Hilton in her
Okay.
No
Pretty
Boys
Girl Rock?
Allowed era.
Oh,
Yes. In
okay.
the No Boys Allowed era, Pretty Girl Rock era, I wanted
Okay.
something very different. And especially for the upcoming season, which will be in the new year. So I had to switch it up.
And your nails too, you do your own nails?
I do my own nails.
Let me see
And
them.
with
Let's see them. Show us. Yeah, show us, Miss Stevie.
And with the blackout, I said, you know what? It's time for me. When the shutdown happened, a lot of people were just like, what are we going to do? A lot of women mainly were like, what are
Yes.
we going to do? We can't go to the hair salon. We can't go
Right.
to the nail salon. What are we going to do? So a lot of people took time to start to learn to do their own nails. I was one of those
Yes.
people because I wanted to start going to a
Mhm.
salon, but I'm just like, okay, what can I do? Let me find something to do with my time. And believe it or not, Taraji P. Henson inspired me to start doing my own.
Oh, how
She
so?
started doing her own nails,
Oh,
and
oh,
she has an
okay.
actual salon in her house. She has her salon in her
Oh, I didn't
house.
know that.
Yes. And it's a video out there. You guys have to punch it in. She has a salon, you know. She does her own wigs and things. Niecy Nash is
Mm.
another who would do hair for college. She would do the girls' hair for college to pay for her books in college. So you have to get a head start of somewhere. And I just said, you know what? Let me pick up the tools of the trade, start doing my own nails, start doing my own hair and installs. And if other people want this service, then I'll figure out pricing and all of these things. But I would
Right.
love to offer service to my clientele as well.
Yeah, so Miss Steven, let me ask you, because I'm still trying to figure out like where, the finances come in because I know
Yeah.
because I could tell, like I could hear the passion in your voice. You love what you do and you were able to build your clientele. I'm sure you have a portfolio out there somewhere. So where did the money come in to where you were able to sustain, and able to
My
maintain?
parents, my parents, they invested
Okay.
in me a lot. And
Okay.
then as
Okay.
I got a little bit, because I remember we all get allowances growing up. Me and my brother, we both got an allowance.
Okay.
And then, we had our, you had to save. We had to save deeply. I remember my dad bought this piggy bank, this clown piggy bank, and it was hideous. I can't remember where that thing is. And I hated it, y'all. But it was one day my brother took it and he broke it. And I've learned more about saving and investing because my mother, she always instilled that into us. So when we get an allowance, I would save and I would invest in prep for beauty school to purchase combs. And then as
Nice.
I got in
Nice.
actual cosmetology school, that kit was, I want to say, $266 at the Career Center because you had to get your combs, you had to get your textbook, which was already provided by the school. And in the kit, you got your the rollers, you've got the rods, you've got your blow dryer, you've got your curling iron, and it's not like the traditional curling irons that our grandmothers would use on our family members in the house and the hot combs and everything. It had all of that in the kit. So it was a pretty big kit. And then it had the rolling case as well, too. So it was a big deal. But that's how I got it financially, just from my parents instilling that into me to save,
Got it.
to invest. And my mother would hold on to whatever I got.
Oh, that's amazing because not many families were able to attest to that. So that is so great that your parents
Yeah.
instilled financial literacy at that about budgeting, about learning about that. Because a lot of us, a lot of children, unfortunately, we go up. I mean, we'll say, "Oh, can I have a few dollars for lunch or a few dollars for this?" But
Yeah.
they don't truly, not a lot of parents sit down with their children and understand the value of money, the value, not just budgeting, but the value of it and where does it go and how you need to understand where how you are able to play these video games, how you're able to get the latest sneakers, and how hard you have to work to attain these things. So, so I'm so glad that your parents instilled that in you. So, congrats to them. Shout out to them. Yeah.
And
So
it's
now,
brought me a long way, girl. It's helped me a long way.
yes,
So
yes,
when you hear T.S. Madison and everybody out here talking about redistributing wealth, investing, budgeting, all of these things, they are not lying. You learn that at a young age, just from doing odd jobs. It can be cutting grass. And that's another thing, Faith. I'm glad you asked that question because we would have chores around the house. My
mm-hmm.
father was not playing that. Like I said, but
Okay, okay,
when he tells you to get up and get those clothes in that dirty clothes hamper, get out there and go hang out those clothes and help your mom. All of those things, we each had chores in the house. And so as my sister moved out and got her own, she realized it the hard way. You're on your own, you're taking care of your own stuff. So this is real. But me and my brother, we had to get it from the ground up, picking up tree limbs outside when it was a storm or whatever. It would always have tree limbs, and we would get paid for doing those little things. And we'd learn to save over time. My mom, she drilled that into our minds. And now, being 32 years old, an adult, I see what my mom is saying now. Now you're gonna have to pay bills. You're gonna have to pay your rent.
yes.
You're gonna have to do all of these things. Invest.
And then you know what? And I love that because I love the fact that they didn't throw you to the wolves once you became a certain age. Because a lot of parents, they don't instill certain things in their children. They feel like once they become 18 or 19 years old, you ready to leave the nest now, so just go and figure it out. No, you can't do that. Yeah, that's not how it works at all. Or sometimes there are some parents that make their children pay rent. I'm like, I'm like, no, come on. Because first of all, that is not their responsibility. That's yours. That's you as an adult, you as a parent. Let them, build that nest egg. Let them prepare. So that way, when you become an adult, you be more self sufficient. So you don't have to worry about coming back unless there's like you falling on real hard times that's beyond your control. You know the steps or the tools you need to stay on your own, to remain self sufficient, to remain independent. So I'm so glad that your parents taught that to you. But Miss Stevie, I want to kind of pivot a little bit into your fashions because you said that you started in high school. It was started with you sketching, and your teacher had bought you magazines to help you to own your craft. So when did that start for you? When did that become a thing for you?
What was the last part, Faith? You cut out a little bit. I couldn't hear the last part.
Now I was asking, when did the fashion become a thing for you? After high school, once you started the sketching and started getting inspirations from these different magazines that your teacher bought for you, you said you got into the whole career in cosmetology, but I wanted to get more into how that developed into your fashion. I want to get more into the fashion side of things.
Yes. How did
Uh,
it? Well, doing hair, of course, because you can't have great style without having great hair. And that was
True.
something that I was very adamant about doing. And so my grandmother, my father's mother, she was keen on looking good as well. So that's where I got the inspiration from. But right after high school, for me, sketching, putting things together, reading fashion magazines, and just taking what was in the magazines and starting my own trends for dressing, for style. And I would always, how can I describe it? I would always want to wear black, gray, khaki. But
Oh,
then high
yes.
school, you see me sort of like what I'm wearing today, which is like, okay, dress shirts, blazers, uh, the skinny jeans, pairing it up with different prints and different patterns, experimenting. My mom was just like, see, I told you you love it once you try it. Because I was
Mm,
very adamant. I wanted to wear just dark blue jeans. I wanted to do gray. I wanted to do white. I
y-
didn't want to do any other color. I
the
hated
safe,
khaki. I
the,
hated
the
red. I
safe
hated
colors.
everything. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can't be
Mm-hmm.
in the fashion world and not experiment with different prints
Color.
and patterns. And so right
Mm-hmm.
after high school was the time for me to sort of like branch out. And before I was very like you said, playing it safe. I would do like these capri pants when I first started Style by Steve in the beginning stages. My style has very much so transitioned from then to now. Where it's more feminine, where it's more girly, where it's more couture. Whereas before it was a mix of mask and femme. So I would do the off the
Yes.
shoulder tops and then a pair of capri pants. And I'm just like, I'm not trying to wear a dress. I'm gonna put on a pair of pants and a jacket and just make it my own thing. But then as the seasons have progressed,
Right.
a little bit, you see me sort of like branch out full glam. You can't keep me out of a dress now. There's not a moment where I'm not wearing off the shoulder or the back is out like a keyhole
Yeah,
cut out in the
you
back.
getting more bold now. Yeah, you
Yes.
getting more
And
bold, yeah.
before I was very Faith, I'm gonna be honest. I was yes. Va va voom.
There it is. Bam. Oh, bam.
Yes, with the back out.
Yeah.
I would not wear anything like that before because I was insecure. And
Yes,
I'm
yes,
just like, okay, if you're gonna do fashion, it's either go hard or go home. You have to
absolutely.
have the confidence to own it fully. People can either love it or hate it. And so far, people have been loving it. Like they're s- always tuned in every day at 4 p.m. to see what I'm wearing, what the hair is going to look like. I
Yes.
remember
Yes,
interviewing,
I'll be looking
and I
forward to
think
it
you should.
too.
I think you should have him on your show, Faith. Is Kenyon
Who?
O'Brien, and you guys know him as Jabril on Triangle. If
Jabril.
you watch Triangle, the
Oh,
show
okay.
Triangle.
Okay.
Yes, Kenyon L. O'Brien. When I did
Okay.
my
Yeah.
interview with Kenyon, Kenyon was like, "What hair is she gonna give me today?"
Yes. I'll be looking forward to it too, Miss Stevie. I'm like, okay, what
I
look
was
is she
like,
gonna give? That's it, because that's a show in
"Men
itself.
know these
That's your
things."
own. But Stevie, you don't understand. You don't know. You don't you know that's your own fashion show right there. You giving us fashion show. That's your virtual fashion show right there. That's how I see it. You know,
I never looked at it that way. I never
yeah, that's
looked
what
at
you're
it that way.
giving
I'm
us.
looking at it like
Yeah, I love it. You
I'm
know, you
like,
get that. Is it you in the closet? Is that your closet? What that did you be modeling your stuff in?
Actually, yes, it's a backdrop. My mom said, "Get a big backdrop to make the outfit stand out." So I stand in front of the backdrop to make the clothes
With the white
stand
hangers?
out. Yes, the hangers are behind the backdrop. You guys can't see, but I
Oh,
have a lot of
okay.
pieces and stuff in storage as well too. And I'm always buying and rotating pieces. And with style, that's the thing. That's what I've learned in the beginning stages of Style by Stevie is that you have to rotate pieces. Give people
Yeah. Oh, you
something
do.
different. Give people something different because, and our guy told me this as well too. And when I had my
Ah,
interview with him and Faith had the pleasure, our guy was telling me
yes.
because we talked about fashion, which is make it your own, make it
Oh, yes.
original, and be
Absolutely.
original. And more importantly, step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you are not comfortable doing. I have a scar on my leg
Yes.
when I fell off the bicycle when I was younger, Faith, and those are the reasons why I would always wear pants in the first stages. But now you can't
Oh.
stop me from showing my legs, and like the picture she just showed, the back out. You can't stop me from showing it now. Even my mom would be like, who's also part owner of Style by Stevie, along with my cousin. They're
Oh,
just
really?
like, Lord, my
Oh,
mom
okay.
is just like, because I go back and I show
Oh,
her the
you
picture,
gave them a piece of your
and
dream.
yes. And I'm like,
Oh,
for the woman who birthed me and brought me into this world, because she, like, again, she said it to me. She dropped that bombshell. She said, I did not plan on getting pregnant and having no more kids. So here
right.
I am, third born. And so I said, why not give the
And you
woman
made
who
it an
birthed me,
experience. You made
brought
that an
me,
experience.
yes. And it was a magical one. It was a magical one. She wasn't expecting a baby like me. Because, like I said, my brother
Of
and my sister
course.
came before me. And uh I would show her some of the pictures of the outfits on the show, and she's just like, "My God, that all right, Miss Sexy, that dress is pretty short, that skirt is pretty short," and she knows it's tastefully done. So I
Yes.
show it to my mom, and she loves it. So can't
Oh,
complain.
yes.